I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'll have my executive assistant, Veronica Lepore, read the public comment notice.
Good morning. Thank you. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Teams Q&A. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Are there any additions or corrections for the August 14th meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. There's no public comment on specific agenda items in person and none online. And that takes us to our first item. We have a presentation. I guess we'll call it that. It's more of a drawing. As we continue the celebration for America 250 Pennsylvania, Berks County, our history committee, chaired by Laurel Miller, started a Passport to Berks County History contest back in May. It ended on August the 15th, and we have a first prize, a second prize, and three third prizes. So, Veronica, if you want to bring those up, we'll go right down the line, have the commissioners help draw. What do you think we should start with? The third prize first? Yeah, let's do that. And then each of us can do one of those. And so this first, just state what the first one is.
There's two.
We'll split them. So we'll start with 4 Ready Fightin' Phil's tickets.
You're not eligible to win.
We are not.
Yeah.
For Saturday, September the 13th. So pick a name. We have all the contact information. Just one.
Together. Wyatt Yone. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, say that again.
Wyatt Yone.
Very good. That is our first winner. The second we'll do, I can almost reach these, is also for Reading Fightin' Phil's tickets. And this is for Friday, August the 29th. These aren't easy to open up. There we go. And this is for Mary Fabian. Mary Fabian wins the second 4-pack of tickets to the Reading Fightin' Phil's. And Dante, this is for a gift certificate, I think $50.
Is that what it is? Peanut bar.
To the
Jimmy
peanut
Kramer's
bar.
Peanut bar. Okay, and the winner is? Cheryl Confino. Cheryl Confino wins the gift certificate for the peanut bar. Congratulations.
We'll go, just keep going back through.
$150 to Stokesay.
This is second
I think
prize.
I'll just keep this one and we'll go to the next one.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
This is for dinner for 2 at the Knights Club at Stokesay, $150. It excludes alcohol.
That's true also of the $50 that we did for peanut bar.
Okay. Got 2 again. Rosalind Horst.
There we go. Congratulations,
Congratulations, Rosalind.
Rosalind.
Oh,
Nope,
That's
put that back. Let Dante pick. No, let Dante pick.
Okay,
This
thank
is
you.
the grand prize, $250.
Grand prize winner, $250 to Boscov's. And the winner is Tom Sandor. Tom Sandor is the winner of
Yeah,
the
that's the grand prize.
$250 Boscov gift card.
So we'll give these back to Veronica. I want to thank each of these organizations. They donated. We didn't pay for these. Jim Boskov saw to it that we got the gift card for the grand prize. Michael Leifer, the peanut bar, donated the gift certificate for the peanut bar. Scott Hunsinger, general manager of the Reading Fight and Fills, donated the 4-packs. Really appreciate that. And the program was promoted not just through America 250 PA Berks, but also I want to thank Heather Zimmerman and the Visitors Bureau. They promoted it as well and encouraged people to visit 24 different sites here in Berks County to kind of better get to know Berks County and Berks County history. Oh, I forgot to mention Stokesay, Jack Galati, Stokesay Castle. Appreciate his donation as well. And I'm sure all of the winners will especially appreciate that. Veronica, I want to thank you for coordinating all the different pieces, working with the people, the organizations that donated, getting that information together, working with Laurel and the History Committee, and also working with Heather Zimmerman and the Visitors Bureau. So we will make sure those notifications occur promptly, especially for the ball games, because those are dated. The others obviously have time to utilize. Yes, that's a very good point. You'll be notified, but if you don't claim your prize within a week, there'll be a secondary drawing, and that would probably be a problem for the Phillies tickets because the one is coming up like
September
next Friday.
13. Yeah, August 29 and September 13.
Yep. So hopefully everyone gets their claims their award as quickly as they can. So thank you. Continuing with our agenda, item 1, authorizing under that Budget Department adopt a resolution authorizing 2025 budget transfers in the amount of $1,019,880 and 2025 appropriations in the negative amount of $152,740 per listing dated August the 15th of 25. One item under Human Resources, authorize the promotion of Amber Colombo from Assistant Director, Workforce Development Board to Director of Workforce Development. Congratulations, Amber. I'm confident she's going to do a great job in that role. Number of items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing Sheriff Mandy P. Miller to execute the 2025 Berks Encore Expo at the ballpark agreement between Berks Encore and the Berks County Sheriff's Office. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the Berks County Sheriff to execute security service agreements on an as-needed basis with various schools and educational institutions to provide security-related services for extracurricular events. Such agreements shall be subject to final review and approval by the Berks County Solicitor's Office. Item C, adopt a resolution approving fiscal year 25-26 total local match of $511,417 for the South Central Transit Authority as outlined below, and further authorizes submission of a commitment letter to SCTA outlining the Berks County's local match. The local match shall be $478,543 for Berks County's local operating match and $32,874 for Berks County's local capital match, for a total of $511,417 for matching funds for local operating financial assistance pursuant to the fiscal year 25-26. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing submission of the application for hazardous material emergency preparedness grant for projects totaling $18,550. This grant requires a 20% county match that will come from the hazmat restricted funding. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the equitable sharing agreement and certification of the Department of Justice and U.S. Treasury Department reporting the federal drug forfeiture money received and spent by the District Attorney's Office for fiscal year ending June 30th of 25. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the First Amendment to the commercial lease agreement between the Reading Regional Airport Authority and the County of Berks for office space for the Berks County Sheriff's Satellite Office. I've already noted a conflict of interest since I sit as a member of the Reading Regional Airport Authority. I believe all three commissioners have the same conflict.
Yes, I also have the same conflict and noted it as well in writing.
I also have that conflict and have sent that information to our deputy chief clerk.
And in accordance with Pennsylvania law, when such a conflict with all of us exists, we simply publicly note that conflict and are able to go ahead and vote. Item G, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the State Food Purchase Program expense and data report for fiscal year 24-25 for the Helping Harvest Fresh Food Bank. Item 2, a motion to authorize the execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated August the 18th of 2025. There are three contracts, one with the Berks County Jail, one with Berks County Planning, and one with our solicitor. Item 3, a motion to authorize the execution of the payments and electronic transfers for the week ending August 22nd of 25. Item 4, motion to authorize the execution of employee payroll disbursements dated August 26th of 2025.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll now move to reports of our treasurer and controller. We'll begin with our treasurer, Mitch Darcourt. Mitch.
Thank you, Commissioner. Today we have an opening balance of $273,798,000.
I like the 700 million better.
Yes, Commissioner, I do too. Let me start over again.
That's okay.
$273,798,218.98. We have a balance to clear of $6,940,092.14, leaving us with a balance of $266,858,126.84. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mitch. And we'll move now to our county controller, Joe Rutterow. Joe, with the controller's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the week ending 8/22/2025, we have an accounts payable and total cash disbursement of $5,462,775.26. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. And moving now to our Chief Operations Officer, Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Lineback. Our team has one item. We want to thank the board for accepting the promotion for Amber Colombo from Assistant Director Workforce Development to Director, replacing long-serving Dan Fogarty, who's been there at least over 10 years, and we are certainly ensuring a smooth transition from Dan to Amber, and Amber is a wonderful choice by the board. So thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are to commissioners' reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Thank you, Commissioner Lineback. Before I get started, I also want to congratulate Amber Colombo for her promotion and also wish Dan Fogarty the best in his retirement. This past week, Saturday through Wednesday through yesterday, we were at the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania Annual Conference at Seven Springs. All three of us were there together with Kevin and Larry and Christine as well. All six of us were there. On Sunday morning started our Board of Directors meeting. I participated in that as well as Commissioner Leinbach, and I chaired that meeting. We spoke about updates on different items related to the CCAP, which is the budget, personnel, strategic plan, and others. We also had discussions related to different county-related topics as well, issues that affect all counties throughout the Commonwealth. The longest discussion we had was in relation to the PA budget impasse and what we should do about this. And this was not a major discussion only in the board meeting, but also throughout the whole conference as well. And our district meeting and our caucus meeting and the different meetings, the lack of a budget came up many different times, and what impact this is having and going to continue to have on counties until it gets resolved. So something that came out of the Board of Directors meeting was that a letter is going to be sent to the leadership and to the governor as well. There will be more information to come on that, but it's a letter we felt needs to be sent because this is having an impact on all 67 counties in Pennsylvania, not just on some of them, but on all counties, and will continue to have a negative impact on them. When this happened back about 10 years ago, again, many counties lost, be it interest money because they needed to take money out of their reserves, or they had to take out loans because they did not have enough money in the reserves to be able to get through this. And that has an impact on the county's finances to the extent that some counties believe that if this goes on too long, if they need to do that again, they may end up having to increase taxes because of the situation that the state is putting counties in. So this was a major discussion again throughout the conference. Another issue that was discussed at the Board of Commissioners meeting and came up in one of the committees, at least one that I sat in, was health deserts. And that's a big issue, especially in those rural counties. A lot of hospitals have been closed. In one committee, one of the committee members, which is in the Community Economic and Economic Development Committee, said his wife was pregnant, and had it been a year ago, he had maybe a 20-minute drive to the hospital. Now it's a little bit over an hour drive for him to get to the hospital. And I'm not kidding. He said that he was watching videos, learning how to give birth at his house if he needed to because of the distance he had to drive to make it to a hospital. So that's really not a good position for anyone to be in. So this is an issue that needs to be dealt with as well. In the Community Economic Development meeting, we spoke about housing, the need for that, and statewide issue. Also spoke about data centers, and same issue as in NACO. Some of them are good, some of them not so good, and what impact the data centers can have on counties and the infrastructure there, electricity, water, and so forth, if they are not done properly. Within the Community Economic Development Committee, there were 4 proposed resolutions for the 2025 plank that were brought forth by that committee. I just want to highlight 2 of them. One of them has to do with the demand for electricity in Pennsylvania, and it says the association acknowledges the extraordinary increase in demand for electricity and strongly encourages the administration to recognize and support the development of increased supply through statewide guidance, grants, and other incentives. However, the association opposes any state action that supersedes local land use decision-making authority. And these resolutions are put forward by each committee and then voted on, which we did in the general session. The other one I want to highlight there was a prevailing wage resolution for housing projects. And this is one that I put forth, and it's to increase the prevailing wage minimum from $25,000 to what it would be in today's dollars. The Prevailing Wage Act was put forth in 1961, setting the limit at $25,000. In today's dollars, that would be a little over $270,000. But we still yet require prevailing wage for any project over $25,000. and that is hurting our housing here in Berks County. When we look at the whole home repair project, which was handled by the Berks County Redevelopment Authority here, and I found out that in many other counties as well, they did not do any projects over $25,000 because prevailing wage would hit, which would increase the cost of the project, limiting then the amount of projects that could be done. And also for many that were doing projects, to be able to get the project properly sealed so it would retain more heat in the winter, more cool in the summer, projects would cost over $25,000. So repairs were being done, but this part of the project was not, because of the prevailing wage and what that would do. So that was something that was proposed, that we brought up at the committee, and was also brought up at the general session, and was voted for in favor by about a 75 to 25 vote. The other one I attended was the Election Reform Committee. And just one item there I want to highlight is that a working group was put together to look at and provide recommendations on in-person mail-in voting, because we do not have truly early voting here in Pennsylvania, but also to look at early voting. In the presidential election, that in-person mail-in voting caused issues in all counties throughout the state. So we're looking at how that process can be improved. We want to make that recommendation to the General Assembly and to the administration as well, and also ideas as to what should be done around early voting here in Pennsylvania. Monday, we had the general session. We had a keynote speaker who was speaking on leadership and the role of building trust to be an effective leader. Just a few items I thought were very important out of that. He says 3 factors to build trust with others is be transparent, be tactful, and have togetherness. We're all in it together. Says one thing, people are extremely, they want to be transparent. Some people say, I say things how they are. I'm transparent. But one thing is saying things how they are. The other thing is how you say it. When he's asked by a raise of hand, which people needed to work on them, most people raised their hand for being tactful when we say things. And I think that's an area that I need to work on as well. The other point he said, when you get it wrong, you have a choice to make, and you can either let it go or you can make it right with the person that you made it wrong with. And the other one was, you can't meet people where they are if you think you are above them. So just a few things I got out of that. Then in the afternoon on Monday, we had our district meetings where we reelected Lori Hefner Vargo as the District 6 chair for one more year. Tuesday, we had our annual business meeting. Lieutenant Governor Davis spoke to the group. We also voted on the different policies and resolutions that were presented, as well as elected new officers for CCAP. And Tuesday evening, we had the annual dinner and awards presentation. On Wednesday morning, we had breakout sessions, and we had then the closing general session. The closing general session, we had Treasurer Stacy Garrity, who spoke to the group. She spoke about the programs that they offer and what the state treasury does and what they do not do. But a lot of great programs that help here in Pennsylvania. Someone asked her what was the most impactful thing that has happened in her time as treasurer so far, and it was around returning. One of the programs they have is returning medals and awards to veterans. So if they're lost or someone passes and they're found later somewhere and someone returns them to the state looks for the owner or for the family to return them to them. And she said one of the most impressive things she has gone through is being able to return that to a family. She went through this story. I'm not going to go through it, but she feels very strongly herself, being a veteran, that it's important that her office is able to get back Purple Hearts, Bronze Stars, whatever it may be, back to the people who won them or to their family members if they have passed. We also spoke about the opioids trust update and AI in government. And one of you want to help me get this right, but the guy who spoke about AI in government, he said he could speak, and they asked him to put in 20 minutes when he needs 2 days to speak. So he went to ChatGPT and he said, put this 2-day presentation into a 15-minute format. And he was joking, of course, but then he says that ChatGPT came back and said that that couldn't be done or
He
something.
said, good luck with
Oh,
that.
good luck with that. So of course he was making that up, but we found it very interesting. So we had a really good time at CCAP, a lot of networking as well, learning best practices about what's going on in other counties, what they're doing, and how we can implement that here. Also met different vendors, looking at ways to implement things here in Berks as well. A few items on upcoming events. This Saturday from 10 to 4 is the PA German Farm Festival at the historic Dreibelbeth Farm in Hamburg. Saturday also is the second annual Romanian Festival from 12 to 9 p.m. and Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. at the Reading Liederkranz. This Sunday is the Ride for Freedom, which I'm sure Commissioner Leinbach will speak more about that. Monday is Overdose Awareness Day, and the Council on Chemical Abuse will be doing a race flagging at 11 a.m. in City Park at the flag there next to the basketball court. So if you want to join us, I will be there speaking on Overdose Awareness Day for the flag raising. On Wednesday is Library Days at the Museum Arboretum from 10 to 12. And Barbara will be putting the flyer up. Maybe not. Okay, there it comes. Flyer with information there at the Arboretum from 10 to 12. That is Wednesday. If you have a chance, drop by and enjoy some story time with your children and enjoy the beautiful Arboretum there. And we do not have an election board meeting today. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. We'll move now to Commissioner Dante Santoni.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Rivera did an outstanding job reporting about the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. So I'll just briefly add just a few items. I also attended the Resolution and Policy Committee meeting where we go over all the different policies that CCAP pushes forward through their committee process. And I thought that was really interesting and informative. The Election Reform Committee, I attended that as well. And as Commissioner Rivera said, there's a lot happening there. The legislature, the bill actually passed out of the House. It's over in the state Senate. So there's some legislation teed up. And as we always say, we want to be part of that process. So our committee, Election Reform Committee, along with CCAP staff, is working on putting together, and Commissioner Leinbach recommended, and it was passed to sort of put a pause on making a decision, policy decision on early voting, letting that committee that we're going to set up do their work. So there'll be some issues coming out, and we're going to make a decision on that by next spring. Bless you. I also sat in on the opiate settlement dollars session where there's a group, 3 professors, one from Penn State, one from Temple, one from Pitt, that are putting the data together. There's a website that's available that talks a lot about the dollars, what each county receives, where it's going. And then the one professor from the University of Pittsburgh is talking about how this will impact us 5, 10, 20 years down the road, these dollars that are coming out to our communities. So I thought that was a very, very interesting session. The last thing I'm going to talk about that happened at the convention was the opportunity to attend a memorial, go out to the Flight 93 Memorial, which is about 45 minutes from where we were. And I have to tell you, it was very emotional, very inspiring. If anybody gets an opportunity, I know it's a 3-hour drive from Reading, but if you're ever out in the western part of the state and you get an opportunity to stop by that memorial, it is well worth it. They talk about the minute-to-minute timeline of what happened when it left Newark. It was a Newark to San Francisco flight. They got below Cleveland and were turning around, and that's when the terrorists took over the plane, and how the 40 people on board were pushed to the back of the plane. They took over first class, murdered the people in the cockpit, and I think a flight attendant, and everybody else was in the back, took a vote if they were going to take over the plane. I get emotional talking about it. There's a tourist center that you can go through and experience, and there's all kinds of displays. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting is you can listen to some of you can listen to some of the conversations that the people on board had with loved ones back home. And they knew they weren't going to come home, and it's pretty intense. So it was a great couple hours that we had an opportunity to spend. The superintendent of the facility was our host, and he keeps in constant contact with the families. There's going to be a huge event coming up, the 25th anniversary. Believe it or not, it's going to be 2026. But the Flight 93 Memorial out in Somerset County is just a great tribute to the heroes who took that plane down. It was on its way to DC, where there was Congress was in session. There were 4,500 people that work in the Capitol, visitors, thousands of visitors around where this plane was intended to go, and they saved thousands of lives. So that was a highlight of being out there, along with all the other sessions that I had an opportunity to attend. Excuse me. I also want to commend and wish Amber Colombo success in her new endeavor, and give best wishes to Dan Fogarty, who is retiring. And my last issue, Mr. Chairman, I'm sure we all got this letter. It's from the secretary of the Berks Book Bonanza, Elizabeth Eshelman, and she wanted to thank all of us. They raised $80,000 at the Book Bonanza this year. Of course, they're out at the South. We gave them an opportunity to use the South Campus building for that. And they were very thankful. They raised $80,000 for their two organizations. They gave $40,000 to the American Association of University Women for scholarships, $40,000 to the Friends of the Berks County Public Library. Each of the 25 Berks libraries and branches will receive $1,500, and the remaining will be invested with their funds at the Berks Community Foundation. She mentioned a few employees from the county and from the Tyler Reese and the wonderful BCRA staff, Stephanie Williams and Emily Montagna at the Berks County Public Libraries, Rex Levengood, and all the hardworking mechanical magicians, her words, of the facility department. And they were very thankful for the opportunity to have that outstanding endeavor out at the South Campus, again, where they raised $80,000. And I'm glad Berks County has an opportunity to help that. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Santoni. I'm going to share a few photos from our conference. Let's see here. So Flight 93, it's the second time I've been there. What you're looking at is a wooden gate, and I'll zoom in a minute. But as you're standing there, the flight path of the plane would have been directly overhead and crashed in the field in front of this gate, right about at the area of that rock. Even though I've been there before, it was just as moving. There were some aspects that weren't in place when I was there in 2019. This is the Tower of Voices. You can't see everybody there, but I think most of our group was there. I know, Christine, you were there, Dante, your wife, myself, Kevin and your wife, Larry and his wife were there as well. We actually, when I was there before, there was no wind, and so you couldn't hear these, but they, when the wind hits about 14, 15 miles an hour, you begin to hear the different bells in the tower. This is the team that was up there. The theme was Camp CCAP, and it was good to have everyone there from our team. Going to stop sharing. I do want to note, along with the comments from Dante, Flight 93, if you haven't been able to go there, it is absolutely worth it. The one park ranger that actually spoke to all of us at the Tower of Voices said from time to time people ask, how do you know what actually happened? No one's alive to tell you. and he explained all of the communications. There were multiple, I think, I'm not going to guess. There was a large number of calls made to 911, to family members. Only a handful ended up on voicemail and were recorded in that fashion. But they said they know pretty much what happened throughout that flight. And there's absolutely no question that that flight was headed towards the Capitol. And there's absolutely no question that those 40 people did what they needed to do to take that plane down. When that plane came into the area of Shanksville, it was inverted. The pilot, or quote unquote, the terrorist that was flying the plane, realized they were not going to be able to get the plane to its target, and intentionally inverted the plane, and it crashed nose first at over 500 miles an hour, over 40 feet deep in the ground. Those people were, in the truest sense of the word, heroes. As was already stated, I would say the number one point of discussion beginning to end at the CCAP conference dealt with the budget impasse. It was noted numerous times that the House and the Senate aren't even scheduled to come back. One of them on September 13th, one on September 22nd. It was also noted that everybody, I say everybody, leadership, the governor's office, rank and file, are pointing fingers at everybody else instead of getting the job done. You will be seeing a letter along with a draft resolution that we're asking counties to pass coming out very shortly. And it's important to note, we're not telling the legislature or the governor, you need to fund this, don't fund that. We're simply saying, you have a job to do, and that is to pass a budget. Do it. Do your job. Every county in the Commonwealth passes their budget on time. As far as we know, and we talked about this, no one's aware of school districts that don't pass their budget on time, or municipalities that don't pass their budget on time. This is the core job of the legislature, and we are now 52, 51 days past the deadline. That's unacceptable. That is not good governance. Some additional things. I'm a member of the County Governance Committee. We discussed sunshine laws. And one of the things that jumped out is laws for thee and not for me. So in the legislature years ago established rules for when you can meet outside of the public eye. And there's very strict rules, security, personnel, litigation, real estate, contract negotiations. And that applies to everyone except the legislature. The legislature, and Dante and I, well, we've all talked about this. The legislature meets in caucus all the time, majority and minority, with everyone. And they debate and talk behind closed doors. None of that is open to the public. And so what we found out is when they passed the laws on sunshine, they applied to everybody else, but not to the caucuses of the legislature. And frankly, it makes it very hard to have some serious conversations. It's not even fair within the context of counties. We discussed at some length that commissions, a board of 3, we can't talk to each other unless it is one of those areas of exception. If you're one of the 7 home rule counties, every one of them can talk to each other about anything. Why? Because of the size. So you have a county executive, you may have 7 county council or county commissioners. Well, if any three of those members can talk at any time, the county executive can bring in three and talk at any time, so they can all talk to each other at any point in time on any topic out of the public eye. We cannot do that. And it makes it hard at times to have some of the hard conversations that you don't, not that I'm going to yell at Dante or he's going to yell at me, but I want to get into his head why he thinks a direction I might be going isn't the right direction. Because in the end, I might learn something from that conversation. So we actually are going to be bringing in CCAP counsel for our next meeting and having an in-depth discussion on looking at better ways to deal with this. We also dealt with some of the right to know reform that is taking place or being discussed in Harrisburg. There's several bills on that. HB 160 deals with prevailing wage threshold. Again, not getting rid of prevailing wage, just simply saying if 25,000 was the right threshold in 1961,
61.
then about 279,000 is the right threshold in 2025. We had a lengthy discussion about public notice legislation. It's amazing the battle that the print newspapers continue to push to force us to advertise in print, even though there are many counties that don't have a daily print operation option even available to them. I think some things may be improved with some legislation in that area. And then we had a lengthy discussion on the budget. The gentleman that was a keynote speaker, one of the things he talked about is trust is built with glimpses. In other words, what people see, simple things we may not think about. The list was very interesting. How present are you when you're present? What do you post online? How do you show up in public? The jokes you tell. How fast you respond. Whether you walk the halls of your organization. If you celebrate others and how you dress. There were a lot of other things, won't go into that. I sat in on a workshop, rural population discussion, extremely fascinating. If you look at Pennsylvania, it's a microcosm really of the country. We have a birth rate problem. If we didn't have immigration, we would be losing population. In Pennsylvania, there are only 2 counties that are meeting the minimum birth rate in order to hold your own. They're Juniata and Mifflin County. Does anybody have any idea why? I did guess this in the meeting. The Mennonite and Amish population. They're the only population, and they gave us numbers, and I didn't write them down, but they are significantly growing their population wherever they are because of the size of their families. But those are the only 2 counties in Pennsylvania that are meeting or exceeding the birth rate necessary to grow the county. Every other county is below that. There is also a bill, HB 1091. I didn't know this. If a person dies, they have no heirs, they have no will, that estate goes to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Under this bill, the money would stay in the community or county where that individual passed away, and it would go to either the community foundation or to a similar nonprofit. That makes a whole lot of sense. Very good discussion. We also had the discussion on the healthcare desert challenge in rural Pennsylvania. We talk about rural Berks County. We really don't have a rural Berks County in the true sense of the word. The challenges of getting an ambulance. There's many parts of rural Pennsylvania where you wait 45 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. If you know anything about a stroke or a heart attack, that's a life and death scenario. So that was a very good session. The AI session, the guy that started that, were we all in the AI? You weren't, okay. He had the driest sense of humor. So at the very beginning, I couldn't tell if he was funny or an idiot. I finally concluded he was had a dry sense of humor. There's no other way to put it. Some of his opening stuff, it was like, what? But he talked about some key areas in AI. One of them is hallucinations, and it makes sense. He said, right now there's an enormous problem, not in the mainstream AI, but there's a lot of other AI out there. Mainstream, Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini. There might be one other one, but there are a whole lot of others. And he said the problem here, the results look and sound credible, but are not. And it's especially difficult when an AI user is using it for something they don't know anything about. So I've just put a caution out there. He said, just because AI can do a lot of different things doesn't mean that Christian Leinbach can make recommendations on heart surgery because he asked the right, or supposedly thought he asked the right questions on AI. He said, there's some pretty dangerous stuff that can happen if you don't understand that. He also said to be skeptical of predictable AI. He said right now it just doesn't work. There are algorithm errors and very serious biases and not just that they can be, when we use the biases, yes, they can be racial biases, demographic biases, but a variety of other biases that we wouldn't necessarily think of because of where it's coming from. And one of the things that I saw, and I think he nailed this, he said, watch out for the AI snake oil salesman. He said, a lot of the stuff that you're getting now, saying you can use AI for this, AI for that, very, very dangerous. And he said for counties, it boils down to policy and training. I just thought it was very, very good information. I was able on, I believe it was yesterday that Mike Carroll was there, secretary. Secretary.
Tuesday for the dinner.
Tuesday, you're right, Tuesday for the dinner. PennDOT Secretary Mike Carroll was there. I was able to talk to him about the Union Pacific acquisition of Norfolk Southern, potential impacts on the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail. It was kind of interesting. He said, you need to talk to Andy and Wayne. And I'm standing there, Andy and Wayne. I don't think I know Andy and Wayne. He said, oh, you do. And he meant Andy Muller. And Wayne is one of his partners, but Andy I know very well. He said they're very involved in looking at the impact because of the freight. So I'll be talking to him. He also has agreed, he knows Rob Gleason very well. Rob Gleason should be confirmed, he said, in September, no later than October, to the Amtrak Board of Directors. He said as soon as that happens, that he is willing to meet with Rob Gleason, myself, and Marion Moskowitz from Chester, and Tom DeBella from Montgomery County. I thought that was very positive, just good all the way around. Last couple of items. Tomorrow, I'm doing a tour of Henry Vanderslice's home in the Collegeville area. You may wonder, who's Henry Vanderslice and why would I care about a home in Collegeville? Henry Vanderslice was the sheriff of Berks County in 1776. And on July 8th, 1776, read the Declaration of Independence for the first time in Reading at the Berks County Courthouse in Berks County. A friend of ours that I've known for a long time actually, I believe, has purchased a home and is having it renovated and invited us down to see it. And then finally, on Sunday, we have the annual POW MIA ride. The main ride will start in Wilmersdorf, near the fire company, the Wilmersdorf Fire Company. We should be pulling out about 11:30 p.m. and heading up for AM. Yeah, sorry. AM. PM that'd be a dark ride. AM and riding east on 422, staying on 422 Penn Avenue through West Reading, Penn Street, up to Veterans Grove, where at approximately 1 o'clock there will be the annual POW MIA memorial ceremony honoring those POWs and MIA still missing across the country, but we actually go through the names of all of those still listed in Pennsylvania. It's a very moving experience. I'll be riding my motorcycle. I don't know, are all the commissioners going?
I'll be there.
I might come up to City Park.
Yeah, City Park, 1 o'clock. It's a pretty amazing experience. And it's important that we do this not just to feel good. We do it, I think, for two core reasons. One, for the friends and family of those POWs and MIAs. We stand with them, calling for closure to what they, in many cases, have waited since World War II to find out what happened to their loved one. But we also do it for the men and women that are serving and will serve in the future, letting them know that we will never stand by and let POWs and those missing in action be forgotten. It's as much a message to them that we will bring everyone home, whatever it takes, as long as it takes. So I just encourage you, if you're able to come, if you have a motorcycle and you want to join us, try to get out at Wilmersdorf. I would say about 10:30, but no later than 11 o'clock. There's a pretty long line. We've had between 1,200 and 2,000 motorcycles from any 1 year to the next, and it is a great way to honor them. If you're along the route and there are people there every single time, there are certain homes that actually set up out front. They'll have 20, 30, 40 people there waiting for us to come through. Take the time to do that. Wave flags. Celebrate the men and women who gave it all. That's all that I have. And at this time, any comment from our row officers?
I don't have anything at this time.
Nothing to offer, thank you.
Okay, we'll go to public comment. Charlotte from Reading, if you want to step up, you have 3 minutes. And if you can state your name again for the record.
My name is Charlotte Kroom from Reading. Thank you, Commissioner Boards, everybody who's here. I'm here on behalf. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm here on behalf of my son, Trayvon Martin, who went missing January 2nd of 2025. He was in a domestic relationship with Emily Shells. I'm writing this letter in recommendation of Senator Judy Schrank regarding urgency and heartbreaking case of the missing of my son, who went disappearing January 2nd, 2025. According to the information I have received, Trey Bell was last seen chased by a police officer identified as Officer Schmittener. Since that day, my son has not been seen or heard from. Despite our continuous effort to locate and get answers, we remain without closure, without support we desperately need. As a mother, I am pleading for your office immediate attention and intervention in this case. I am requesting a thorough, independent investigation in the circumstance surrounding my son's disappearance, including the role of Officer Schmittener and any other relating police activity on or around January 2nd of 2025 in Pine Hills. Our family is devastated and our community is deeply concerned. Trey Bell is a beloved son, brother, and friend. We need answers. We need trust. Most importantly, we need action. Please consider this an official request for your involvement. I am available to speak or provide further documentation at any time. Thank you for your time and attention on this matter.
Thank you. The next individual listed to speak, Pastor Evelyn Morrison from Reading.
Good morning, commissioners, and I'm just concerned that knowing that as our chief governing body of our county, it's really important that not only do we deal with the election issues, but also you deal with budgeting issues, but you also deal with ethical issues. And at this point, there's a situation where Conroe Township is not offering any type of information to the family. The family has contracted a lawyer. They have been able to deal with the lawyer, but the lawyer says without any body or any citing that they could not enact whether a civil or a criminal action. So the lawyers that they've hired is at a standstill. The police officers, when asked for information, they tend to ignore the family. There is not much the NAACP or the community can do. We're asking you because you do have the authority to investigate, especially ethical issues, to be able to look into that situation in Conroe Township and ask for an update, a status for the family. And I believe it would be well within your parameters to be able to investigate what has happened, what information is available for the police officers to or from, what was the nature of the person that last seen him, and what was the circumstances in which he either fled or something else happened. I think it's up to you to really, look into this in the fact that you have an opportunity to speak to the leadership in Conroe Township Police Department. It's only a 3 or 4 man police operation. So I think it would be really good to get this information at this time. So we're hoping that even though you may not conduct the information, but you do have a necessary impact. You can create the necessary impact so that it may be a relevant issue. I thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you. There's no other requests in person. There's also nothing online. So that will close our public comment period. I will make a comment. Charlotte, my heart goes out to you, not knowing what happened. I quickly pulled up a couple of the articles, and it has to be extremely difficult. The one thing, and I think the only thing that the county can do, is to reach out to our district attorney and ask him for the status and for him to look at it. What a lot of folks don't realize is just because we're bigger as a county than a municipality, we have no authority over any township, over the city of Reading. We're separate, completely separate. And counties have no law enforcement role at all. Law enforcement in Pennsylvania is the exclusive responsibility of cities and municipalities. The district attorney, John Adams, I've been thrilled with his leadership through the years. I haven't had a chance to talk to my colleagues, but I will gladly reach out to him. I'm sure he's familiar with this case, and that's what I can make a commitment to. I'd love to be able to tell you that we'll call the Cumru police in here. We'll call actually they have commissioners in Cumru, but we do not have the authority to do that. In fact, if we tried, we'd be in deep trouble. That's not our role. But again, my sympathies. I can't imagine dealing with the situation that you've been dealing with since early this year. I don't know if my colleagues have any thoughts or comments.
I don't have any comments apart from what you said, but prayers will be with you. I'm sure it's not a easy situation to be going through.
Yeah, the only thing I would, thank you for coming in, making us aware. We'll certainly look into it. I have some relationship with Cumru Township, and we'll do everything we can. But as Commissioner Linebaugh said, we are limited in what the law allows us to do. So, thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting is adjourned.